Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Rahul here. I just got to the PSI testing center. I'm going to go ahead and start up on my Part 107 exam. And fingers crossed that I go ahead and pass it so we can get some dank drone footage for you guys on the channel. The test itself isn't too long. It's a 2.5-hour test. From my understanding, about 6 questions. So it's a little bit in-depth, but it's nothing complicated. The FAA has a lot of good resources and practice exams that you can utilize online to go ahead and get ready for this exam. So that's what I did. I went and found some FAA sanctioned and sponsored practice tests and studying material, and I spent about, I think 4 or 5 days studying it. And I got a lot of it familiarized, not necessarily memorized, but familiarized, because there's not a lot you can memorize here. A lot of the regulations vary from place to place, and so you kind of just have to use an overall sense of good judgment along with knowledge of how to not only behave under certain rules and regulations, but also how to go ahead and find what those rules and regulations are, who to contact, who to talk to, and how to do that as well. So overall, this exam is pretty important from my understanding and in my eyes as well. It teaches you not only how to be a responsible drone pilot, but also how to be a respectful member of society in a safe and productive manner. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and head on in, and I'll catch you guys when I'm out. See you in a second. Right, I'm back. So I'm on the side of the road here. I got my Tundra behind me. Just wanted to pull over real quick and talk about the exam, the Part 107 exam, and how that went. I ended up passing. I didn't get the highest score on the exam, but it is what it is. A pass is a pass. I studied pretty diligently, and for someone who didn't pay for any courses, I think that's pretty good. So, with that being said, if you yourself are going to go take the Part 107, I highly recommend being thorough with your studying, especially when it comes to the literal regulations surrounding Part 107. There is a specific, law number. I forget what the exact exact number is for these regulations, but when you pull these regulations up online, you'll get all kinds of different guidelines per the Part 107. For example, how old do you have to be to take the exam? How do you register the drone? How do you register yourself as a commercial usage. So there's a bunch of regulations that I didn't necessarily have the most understanding on, and that was like my weakest my weakest point. But with that being said, the charts were relatively straightforward. Understanding the lingo of the FAA and when it comes to flying, that was relatively straightforward. There's a lot of memorization, but not necessarily knowing things by heart, if that makes sense. It's memorization in the sense of there's a lot of general guidelines that once you understand, you'll know how to go figure out the specific nuances surrounding those guidelines and those regulations. So, it's like there's like a broad scope that these regulations encompass, and the more specific ones are they're regulated by area more than by generality. So the flying restrictions and regulations, for example, at a private airport will be much different compared to an international airport. A big thing there is going to be military usage and military flights. The U.S. military is very active when it comes to the Air Force, and so with that regards, there's almost always low-flying aircraft performing high complexity maneuvers for training purposes. And so they're hidden sometimes, and other times they're not hidden. And what I mean by that is their flight plans sometimes are known publicly and other times are not. And so there's situations in which you'll have to contact your local aircraft or the airport control tower, your ATC, and contact them about how do I go about potential regulations. Are there regulations, and if there are, where can I get more information? Who's a contact? And contacting airport control towers is the best way to go about that. So there's an FTAC, I believe, is the abbreviation for individual airports when it comes to pilot communications, and there's also an a control tower frequency as well, and these frequencies will change from airport to airport. So that's what the I guess overall generalizations are for, is to help you figure out how to understand and find those frequencies and that information for specific areas. So yeah, with that being said, I am now an officially licensed drone pilot. The FAA recognizes me, and I am now able to get you guys good drone footage when I'm out and about. So stay tuned, look forwards to that. If you're able to leave a like and a subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated, and I look forward to bringing you guys more content. Let's get it.